Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. So today, before we get started, I'd like to announce that I have decided to open a Twitter account. So the Military and Foreign Affairs Network and the Voice of Reason are now going to be on Twitter. If you wish to find us at Twitter, it is simply at MFANVOR. Again, it's just the @ sign MFAN, capital V, capital O, capital R. And that is the Twitter account under the alias of Max Redacted. So again, just to go on Twitter and just @ sign MFANVOR, MFANVOR. And I felt that given the new leadership at Twitter, the right to speak, the right to not be discriminated against with a man with titties, that was inappropriate and I apologize. But I think you get the point. That is the reason I have decided to jump on Twitter. And obviously, there has been some changes. There has been some allowances of persons who have formerly been 86'd from Twitter that have now been allowed back on to include large media outlets, such as the Babylon Bee. But again, wanted to announce that, and then we'll jump right into our continued coverage of the civil war taking place inside the former state of Ethiopia and the Eritrean invasion of northern Tigray. So we continue to get reports that the Eritrean army continues to operate in northern Tigray. We have also received reports that the despotic nation-state of Eritrea is deploying additional forces into northern Tigray. At the same time, the Eritrean army continues to rape, to pillage, to remove anything, including things that are bolted down, and removing those items and taking them north into Eritrea. So the pillaging continues. The ongoing acts of making people disappear, Tigrayans disappear in northern Tigray continues. So why is that? Why is Abiy Ahmed, who is ruling part of the former state of Ethiopia, as he continues to battle the Oromo Liberation Army and other groups that wish to remove him from power or seek self-determination. So why is that? Well, it's very simple. Abiy Ahmed is the concubine of Isaias Afwerki. I think that probably best fits what we're seeing in the former state of Ethiopia. As a matter of fact, we believe that at least part of, if not all of, the Abiy loyalist general staff, meaning the former Ethiopian National Defense Forces, actually is under the leadership of the Eritrean military, especially in areas such as the Tigray region. The Abiy loyalist formations that are operating in northern Tigray near Axum and Shire, and then running from Shire down to a DRK, are actually under the command of Eritrean forces. So if we have this idea that Abiy Ahmed could order the withdrawal of Eritrean forces from northern Tigray, that is simply not the case. Essentially, with Abiy Ahmed being the concubine of Isaias Afwerki, he's taking orders from Isaias Afwerki. Thus, the Abiy loyalist army is also taking orders from Isaias Afwerki. So very complicated situation. Obviously, there was a lot of attention paid to what happened in South Africa, this agreement, which has quickly unraveled, and in all likelihood will simply disappear. Because again, the Eritrean army does not appear to have any intent of departing from northern Tigray. And unfortunately, that is going to result in the Tigrayan Defense Forces having to figure out a way to create a military solution for what is happening in northern Tigray. The Eritrean military hold in northern Tigray is tenuous at best. Again, they were not able to seize control of Adigrat or areas around Adigrat. And their hold near Adwa and in Adwa, again, is a very, very difficult military situation for the Eritrean military. The only areas where the Eritrean military has firm control, again, Axum, Shire, and then north towards Shiraro. Even there near Shire, Tigrayan Defense Forces are to the northeast and west of Shire. So again, we'll continue to watch that very, very closely. We anticipate that eventually this what we see now in terms of a ceasefire that is ongoing will probably collapse, and again a military solution would then be back into the works for the Tigrayan Defense Forces. In the south, it's the same issue. The Abiy loyalist formations continue to operate near Alamata. We have heard about now the elimination of private property rights in Alamata, the institution of curfews are now in effect, and you can see now clearly the heavy-handed rule of Abiy Ahmed in conjunction with what normally happens inside of Eritrea happening in southeastern Tigray. Now, with that being said, we continue to see the Oromo Liberation Army continuing to operate against the Abiy loyalist formations. I'll head down to the map area west of Addis Ababa, also known as Finfine. And again, this map is entirely not correct. Many of these areas that are designated in the red are actually under the control of the Oromo Liberation Army. Places like Nekemte. Now, obviously, regime forces have moved back into Nekemte. However, if this map was more accurate, we would have yellow areas around and in Nekemte as well. The Oromo Liberation Army is operating inside of Nekemte, as it is operating in the chain of towns west of Nekemte towards Mende. They get it right in terms of OLA control of Mende, and this town here, Kiltakara, Nejo, in all probability, is under the control of the Oromo Liberation Army, as is towns further east of Nejo as well. And there continues to be operations by the OLA against Abiy loyalist formations. And it's really a telling sign of just how much reliant the Abiy loyalist army is on Eritrea. The Abiy loyalist forces are having great difficulty with the Oromo Liberation Army in western Oromia, areas north of Addis Ababa. If it were not for the Eritrean army operating in northern Tigray in conjunction with the Abiy loyalist forces, the Abiy loyalist forces would have never taken control of southeastern Tigray. Again, if we remember, the Tigrayan Defense Forces were in control of Kobo. They were just outside of Weldia. And not until the Eritrean army moved into northern Tigray in force And then after weeks of fighting, we saw the redeployment of Tigrayan Defense Forces towards the north. So again, as I've talked about before, the situation, the military situation that is happening right now in the Tigray region, militarily speaking, for the Tigrayan Defense Forces, is not as bad as what we saw in late 2020 through the early part of 2021, going into the June-July timeframe when Operation Alula kicked off. So we anticipate, as this the South African agreement deteriorates, falls apart, and eventually disappears into dust, we will in all likely see renewed operations by the Tigrayan Defense Forces, either directed towards Adwa, Axum, Shire, and or possibly against Abiy loyalist forces near Alamata. So difficult to say what's going to happen next, but we will continue to watch and monitor and, of course, report. Thank you for joining us today. Again, more to come very, very soon. Have a good day.